Oh shit. Here we go again.
We can go ahead and talk about the Atlanta pick. I know
The elephant in the room.
That's what everybody wants to talk about because that was probably the biggest surprise of the draft is Atlanta drafting Michael Penix Jr. after they had already signed Kirk Cousins to a $180 million deal. But that goes to show you how important the quarterback position is. And so it was almost like they were hedging their position, like kind of like you hedge a bet. Like Kirk Cousins might be good for the next 2 years, but what if he gets hurt? And then what is our plan after we move on from Kirk Cousins? Do we want to wait and be in the top 10 next year or the year after that, or do we want to go ahead and get our guy for the future?
Long days. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Real Conversations with Cozy and Murph. We got White Boy with the pullback. We got Cody Murphy with the pullback. We got long days, long nights. Look at my eyes, dude. I feel like they're like red. I'm tired. I've been up since 6 a.m. for what God only knows. But today, we got a lot to talk about. We are a day late and a dollar short. Talking NFL draft, 1. Talking NBA playoffs, 2. Talking how Kentucky's building a solid little squad. And we'll figure out where we're going from there. But I feel like let's start with catching up. Haven't heard from you in a week. How you been? What you been up to? How are things? How's baby mama?
Pretty good. Same old, still trucking along, trying to get this room together, trying to I went and did a medical today. I'm just going to start a new job here in a couple weeks, so my schedule's going to be kind of crazy. I'll be working like a swing shift, so I don't know if we'll get to record on Tuesdays always or Wednesdays, so it might be just whenever I can make it, or you might have to do some episodes, by a solo. It is what it is. You gotta provide. You gotta do what you gotta do. Make the sacrifice. So
I feel that, dude. I've been, as you know, working fucking long days. I even still got the shirt on.
Yeah.
Repping the NRG. Just you pull down your man, I'm fucking tired. My eyes are tired talking paper. But the way I look at it is every time somebody tells me to screw off, I make about $3 or $4. So
there you go.
I did about 95 screw offs today, so what's up, bitches? Tell me no one more time. Give me $4. Let's run it. But all right, life's good. Going to a wedding in Michigan tomorrow. For those, let's talk about that. Wedding tomorrow, Michigan, and Caleb poses a good question. If one person, we'll say me because I am the example, if one person is in the wedding party and the other person is not, do they attend things like the rehearsal dinner? Do they, even if invited, is it overstepping, like joining in on the nightly activities or the fun activities the day before the wedding and such? Because earlier today he asked me, he's like, hey, is your girl gonna come hang out? She's more than welcome to come hang out with the guys if she wants to, or she can crash the bridal party and hang out with them and meet everybody. And it's like, what is wedding etiquette? That's the real question.
Well, it's really tricky because it's in a different state,
Yeah.
And I don't know the full context of it, but I mean, I can see why it puts Kayla in an awkward situation because she does, like she said, she doesn't know anybody, you know, and she doesn't want to go and hang out with a bunch of girls she's never met, but she also doesn't want to go and be around you and the boys and just be like clinging on to your side too. You know what I mean? So like, I can understand where she's coming from, and it being kind of awkward. I don't really know. I've never been in that situation. Every wedding that me and Kaylee have gone to, we both know, everybody that's going to be going, or most of the people that are going to be going. So, I mean, I think it would be all right for her to go hang out, with you and the groomsmen or whatever.
I think so too. She's one of the guys. She'd get along with everybody. The thing is, she's never met these people, right? Like you're saying.
Yeah.
I went to college and pitched with the guy. His name's Austin, and his fiance, and they met while we were in college. And I've known him. I mean, we're coming up on about 10 years now, and I ain't seen him in a couple years, even at that. So, like, even for me, it's kind of like I'm about to meet all of his circle that I've never met before,
right?
And do all that. So, if anything, I'm kind of hoping she hangs out with me, so I don't feel like, I don't know. But you know how guys are too. They're like
yeah. I mean, it's. Yeah. I feel like guys are like, it's easier for a new guy to come in and just like assimilate to the group because women are so catty, and so they're so like passive aggressive. Like guys, they'll just come out and start making fun of you,
Yeah.
And as long as you dish it back, it's not, like that's how you become part of the group. Is like you just, you talk shit to each other. Girls, they're kind of like fake nice. And you gotta kind of.
You're so pretty.
Yeah, you gotta play the game of, like how to interpret what does she really mean? Like, is she trying to be nice, or is she giving me a backhanded compliment?
Like, is she saying that I'm pretty, or is she telling me I'm actually ugly? Because right now I'm in sweats with no makeup on.
Yeah,
I don't know. Kayla's also one of them. Like I said, she's down to hang with the guys. Her and like groups of girls are, I don't know. She's like me, very minded like me, where she's like, I'm just trying to hang, kick back, kick my feet up, drink a beer, hang out, have a good time.
Yeah.
And she's the girl. I don't know. I know his fiance. She's cool. I know one of the other guys' fiancés. I went to school with him too. But other than that, I don't know anything about these girls. And the last thing I want is them to be mean or whatever. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. I don't know. I don't know nothing about weddings. I've only been in what I've been in two, and both times I've gone, I've been a single man. So this is all new territory on how to navigate that. But we're getting off topic. Let's reel her back in. Let's talk this past week. The NFL happened. Detroit, Michigan represented it well. All the camera angles, all the coverage, killed it. I don't know. I know that you sometimes partake in Pat McAfee. People, if you didn't watch Pat McAfee's, and no free advertisement here, but I'm showing love. Pat McAfee has taken over and taken ESPN to a whole new level. It is absolutely unreal. Dude had Bill Belichick on there, and I've sworn off Bill Belichick for a long time. And by the end of that, not even the end, 10 minutes in, I was like, damn. I texted you. I was like, Bill Belichick's dope. He's just a bro.
Like he's kind of at a point. He's in a point in his life where he can kind of cut loose a little bit. He don't have to be so tight-lipped and uptight. He can kind of just be himself and really let his personality bleed through more. And so it was cool to see a side of him, one of the great minds of football. Just to kind of pick his brain a little bit and get his perspective on things.
Yeah, it was really fun. And then I thought it was really cool that they set up a interview between Bill Belichick and Roger Goodell. And they like had a back and forth, and it's like they both have been butt heads while he was coaching, and then it was just a really cool interview. But Pat McAfee, super electric. Someday I hope that I am a Pat McAfee of this world, and we're at the top doing the Tissy Shuffle or something on ESPN's big stages. But winners, losers, everybody knows it's premature. We haven't seen anybody play in the NFL world yet. We're going to have busts. We're going to have hidden gems. Let me ask you this. Who is your clear-cut winners of the NFL draft?
Well, first off, I have to go with Chicago. Just simply because, and they won the draft even beforehand because the way the GM, pretty much fleeced the Carolina Panthers and just absolutely took them for all they were worth. You get 2 first-round picks. You get an offensive tackle in the early 3rd round. You get a punter, which was a need. You don't draft a punter unless you need one. Yeah. And then they get another edge rusher in the 5th. So they might not have had as deep of a draft as some of these other teams, but they got more value, I think, than anybody else. Yeah. Caleb Williams is, set to be the franchise quarterback. He's going to be set to be there for, the next 5-10 years at least. Then you got Rome Odunze, one of the top receivers in the draft. He was the second receiver taken.
Yep.
After Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely hell of a draft by them. I think Tennessee had a pretty good draft. I think they addressed all their needs, and they got, they got some guys that maybe are not as popular, but I feel like have a lot of potential upside.
Yeah.
They got a tackle. They got a defensive tackle, Cedric Gray linebacker, a bunch of guys that you really may have not heard of, but were from, let's see, Alabama, Texas, North Carolina, Louisville, Tulane, Miami, Michigan, all hot, Power 5 schools except for Tulane. Yeah. So I think Tennessee had a really good draft. And also Jacksonville, I think they had a sneaky good draft.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas Jr. in the 1st round, hell of a receiver. Mason Smith out of LSU, defensive tackle. Jarian Jones, cornerback, Florida State. And then the list goes on. I think Jacksonville had this very sneaky good draft, and also LA Chargers. I think a lot of people kind of shit on the Joe Alt pick, but you got to trust in what Harbaugh's doing. Harbaugh knows exactly what he wants and what like the archetype that he's looking for. He knows the structure and the build of a winning football team. And so you kind of just have to trust, his scheme. Joe Alt, Hall of Fame potential. His father played.
What a huge guy.
Lad McConkey, I think he's going to be a sleeper. Not a lot of hype coming out of college, but if you ever watched him play at Georgia, if you watch some of the film on him, absolute fucking just master route runner. He's not going to blow you away with speed. He's not a Xavier Worthy, but he gets in and out of his cuts so quick. It's crazy. So those are just a few of the teams that I thought did well. I think I got to give it to Kansas City. I don't know what they did after the 1st round, but they did get they addressed their main need in Xavier Worthy, the fastest 40 time in the history of the combine, which is crazy. And it's crazy that Buffalo is the team that fucking traded the pick for them to get him.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah, it's like trading with your worst enemy,
Yeah. I think the Steelers had a good draft too. They pulled together a nice little draft. O-lineman out of Washington. They got a center. They went and got Roman Wilson from Michigan. They got that Peyton Wilson from NC State. They got a nice little draft too. Jaguars did have a good draft. Texans also had a good draft too. A lot of defensive side stuff, but they pulled together a nice little draft. I'm trying to see through here. Colts had a good little draft. Broncos questionable with the Bo Nix, but I think a lot of the takeaways are obviously the big names in the draft, and people get hung up on the big names. What did you think about the fact that, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarterbacks went first round?
I think it is a testament to the importance of drafting the right guy, because you look at it around the league, year after year, it becomes more quarterback oriented. It becomes the quarterback position becomes more important every year. That's the way the game is going. And so the worst thing you can do is be caught in between, having a bridge guy for 2 or 3, 4 years. I mean, look at what Atlanta did. Look, whenever you have Mariota one year and then you have Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke the next year, it's one of the worst positions to be in the league right now. So I feel like it just shows the emphasis that a lot of these GMs have put on that position, especially, like I said, and we can go ahead and talk about the Atlanta pick. I know
the elephant in the room.
That's what everybody wants to talk about, because that was probably the biggest surprise of the draft is Atlanta drafting Michael Penix Jr. after they had already signed Kirk Cousins to a $180 million deal. But that goes to show you how important the quarterback position is. And so it was almost like they were hedging their position, like you hedge a bet. Like, Kirk Cousins might be good for the next 2 years, but what if he gets hurt? And then what is our plan after we move on from Kirk Cousins? Do we want to wait and be in the top 10 next year or the year after that, or do we want to go ahead and get our guy for the future? And so, I know the initial reaction, me included, was fucking, like, I was just distraught. I was so upset. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? And I still think it was a bad pick. I don't necessarily think Michael Penix Jr. was a bad pick. I think picking him that high was a bad pick whenever you could have traded down and still gotten a really good quarterback, because this was a very quarterback rich draft. So now that we're a week on, into it, I feel like I understand the logic of what they were trying to do, and I understand the thinking behind it. I just don't agree with that pick at number 8. Whenever, like I said, you could have traded down and gotten a defensive guy in the first round, and then still got a quarterback in the second round. It's just kind of, head scratcher. I know that was the reaction around the league.
Yeah. I think too, like you said, you guys could have addressed a bigger need in that kind of position, or use that pick to leverage more picks. But I've heard the arguments. I've heard the people make rational thoughts about it and reason for it. The only way that this pans out and makes you guys look smart is if something bad happens with Kirk Cousins. And I don't think for the sake of Atlanta, like, this, it's just not a good sign. This is rather saying, like you're saying, you're hedging your bet. Like, we're betting on Kirk Cousins, but we also have an ace up our sleeve.
We're buying it. We're buying the insurance policy as well.
Yeah, we got an insurance policy, because what happens if he pops an Achilles again?
But my thing is also no offense to Michael Penix Jr. I think he was a great player in college, but the man, he's a man. He's a grown man. He's 24. He'll be 26, 27 by the time Kirk Cousins' contract is up. He's had 2 ACL surgeries. He's had 2 separated shoulders. And it's just like, man, that is a absolute rap sheet of an injury report. Like, he is a walking liability almost. His body couldn't hold up in the college game. How do you think he's going to hold up even with the new rules that protect quarterbacks? How do you think he's going to hold up against grown-ass men? And also, he's a lefty. And lefty quarterbacks are they tend not to work out in the NFL. The ball just looks unnatural coming out of the lefty's hand. I mean, Michael Vick was the last one I could remember that was like, damn, he's got a fucking cannon, and he can and he had accuracy issues early on, but I feel like as he got older, those kind of went away, and he could flick it down the field. He had trouble staying healthy. Tua Tagovailoa, he's not as mobile, and his ball kind of floats on him a lot and sells, and he's had some accuracy issues, and I think it's harder on receivers to track the ball coming out of a lefty's hand than it is a righty's hand, just because the receivers grow up their whole life catching balls from righty, So we'll see what happens, but it could go down as one of the worst draft picks in recent history.
Yeah.
Just because of not only because of how high he was drafted, but because of the injury, risk and
what you could have got.
And what you could have got instead of drafting him that high, so.
Yeah. Especially if things start looking bright for who you could have had. Kind of like the Bears a couple years ago with Mahomes and all that stuff. And
yes. Honestly, I think Bo Nix he's going to be all right. I think he's going to do good in Denver, because I think Sean Payton is going to be able to take him and build an offense around his strengths, and improve his weaknesses.
Yeah. I think Bo Nix is going to succeed. I even see a scenario where J.J. McCarthy succeeds. I think he's enough of a guy to get the ball to his playmakers, and there's playmakers on that offense. I mean,
that's what I was going to say. He's got plenty of talent around him.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a good little first year. Similar scenario to like Anthony Richardson. There's the pieces are around him. It's, can we protect this guy enough to keep him up right now? JJ hasn't faced anything. I mean, Ohio State is probably the biggest test for. I mean, okay, so the playoffs, right? But you got a whole defense of guys coming at you now. You know what I'm saying? I think he's in a good position. I think the best position for quarterback right now is obviously Caleb Williams. That offense for Chicago is
nasty,
ignorant, bro. Ignorant.
Who did they bring in for the offensive coordinator?
Who is Chicago?
I can't remember, but that matters. But also, what I was going to say about the J.J. McCarthy thing is, for young quarterbacks, coaches are one of the most important parts. If you have a good coach that can help a young quarterback adjust to the next level, that is priceless. A lot of these guys, a lot of these high draft picks that are busts come in and they don't have anybody that can mentor them. They're expected to go out there and win games, but they don't have anybody that can lead them and teach them how to be a professional quarterback. And so, I think JJ has the talent around him and also has the coaching behind him that it will help him to develop into, a good starter in this league.
Yeah. It looks like Chicago's OC is Shane Waldron, who spent the last 3 seasons as the Seahawks offensive coordinator, 3 seasons in Seattle. Waldron's offense ranked 3rd in yards per touch, 3rd in big play passing, 4th in big plays rushing, 5th in completion percentage, 8th in yards per reception, and tied for 10th in passing touchdowns. So it's definitely a good guy to be in there. Big plays are good guy to be in there. Plus, you got Caleb Williams running an offense with DeAndre Swift as your lead back, dog, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, and I'm missing
Cole Kmet.
You got Cole Kmet. No, there's another wide receiver. I'm missing
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, yeah, DJ Moore, dog. I mean, that's
yeah, that's stupid right there. I mean, that's a stupid amount of talent, I
think they'll be fun. And their defense was good last year. They didn't really lose anybody on defense. Are the Bears going to be good?
I think it's going to be them and Detroit. That's going to be a tough division.
Packers are going to be
Packers,
tough.
Detroit,
and Minnesota.
Minnesota's kind of in a rebuilding year after getting rid of Kirk Cousins. They got to figure.
But Minnesota still got potential to go like 500.
Yeah, I mean they did last year, and look at who they had at quarterback. Fucking.
The Packers, I think, are only going to get better with the addition of Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love really coming on. Which this is a point I wanted to make a while ago. Was I know Jordan Love is younger, obviously, but in the same scenario where the league is watching a guy sit behind Aaron Rodgers and learn, could the Falcons be trying to do the same kind of mindset thing with
that was that was kind of the what the GM was kind of alluded to was the Rodgers Love comparison. But my thing is, for all Kirk Cousins has done in this league, he is not Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Yeah. He's not as talented. He's just not as good of a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers. And on top of that, like you said, Michael Penix is older than Jordan Love. They're like the same age almost. Jordan Love was 20 years old when he came into the league. He sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years and then finally got an opportunity. Like I said, Michael Penix Jr. is going to be 26 by the time he gets a chance, potentially 26 by the time he gets a chance to be a starter. You know, so I mean, that's apples to oranges in my opinion.
Yeah. I completely agree. But that was a question that I had arise. My birds, I'm gonna hit on my birds real quick. Great draft. People on the internet though speculating that Mr. GM over here, he's just an internet GM. He just picks the big names that everybody wants, and that's why every year he gets a high grade. Let me tell you, motherfucker, something. All right, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Who the fuck knew Quinyon Mitchell? Huh?
I've never heard of him.
But guess what? Boy didn't give up a single pass touchdown all year. We took the two receivers in the draft that gave up 0 touchdowns. What did we struggle with last year? Long secondary ball and James Bradbury's bum ass defense, man. I hope James Bradbury, we kept him, by the way, for everybody who's curious. I hope he's cornerback 6 on the roster this year. Because if I see him on the field,
I can't believe he's still on the roster.
He was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago. Yeah, he's also protected by a badass secondary. Last year, everybody was letting him get exposed. You know, fuck you, James Bradbury. Fucking piece of shit. Let me catch you outside Philly. You hear me? Anyways, I'm getting off topic.
I mean, yeah, you got Cooper DeJean, the only white cornerback to be drafted in like the last 20 years or some shit.
White people represent, baby.
He is the Jackie Robinson.
That's the white people Jackie Robinson right there.
Yeah.
This is a historic day seeing a white man get drafted as a cornerback. But he's actually like really good. I like the Will Shipley pick. I think he'll be a good back because I'm kind of fed up with what's his name tweets at halftime and fumbles the ball on the goal line. I like Will Shipley. If anybody's seen Will Shipley run out of Clemson, boy can move. Yeah, boy can move the rock. He'll be a good backup back. Hey, come on. We're putting some bright skins up here in Philly. All right, you heard? And then Jeremiah Trotter, I think, was a huge pick, really emotional pick for Philadelphia. The fact that he fell all the way to the 5th round is huge. His dad was a Philly legend, and this is another good pick from us. But I'm getting gone in the Birds talk. I'm excited for what the season is going to bring. I will say this too, because I want to shit on them just for a second. Cowboys, Jerry Jones, what exactly are you doing? What is your game plan? I would love to have a Cowboys fan. Like, I would love to have a Cowboys fan on this podcast, like a diehard.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's get Trevor on.
Let's get him on.
Let's get him on, because I just want to pick the brain. Like, I want to hear a defense to what the hell is going on.
There is no defense. They are in free fall mode. I feel like they kind of like, it's like they froze. It's like they panicked and they just locked up and they couldn't. Also, I feel like their cap is kind of like, they're pretty much in gridlock right now. They can't really pay anybody because of that contract. And so, they try to restructure it, but they still haven't been able to come to a consensus with that. And so it's not like they don't have any money to work with. They didn't really have any draft capital to work with. So they had the 29th pick in the first round, 24th pick, second round. They had the 9th pick in the third round, but all the way down after that was, they didn't have much to work with. But they did go out and get Zeke. They got Zeke back.
They brought back the bowling ball. Well, that's where Zeke should retire, anyways. I mean, Zeke gave them.
He had his prime years in Dallas, anyway.
That's where, if Zeke's gonna retire anywhere, it should be in a Cowboys jersey. I love Zeke. Thank you for the national championship. You carried us, you and Cardell Jones, on the back. So you guys carried us to a national championship. But I also want to give love to my boy Marv Harrison Jr. Good on you. I hope you have all the success in the world. I hope you're the next coming of Larry Fitzgerald out there in Arizona. Hopefully they hook you guys up like with a good team, because I know Kyler Murray, he's been under the gun the last couple years, and with getting hurt and stuff, I'm hoping this is a revival for them. I think those two together are going to be gross, dude. The way that Marv can get open late and the way that Kyler can scramble, I think they're going to be gross. I'm excited for that. There was a lot of good picks this draft. It was a fun draft to watch. I felt myself in tune. I think the NFL every year gets better on the presentation of the draft, and I know it's like we all get excited to watch grown men get selected to your favorite team, which is so weird to say. It's like some college kid, some random college kid, we're like, woo,
yeah,
welcome to a team. But at the same time, it's like we're basing all of our happiness on the fact if they pick a certain guy that we wanted in our brains, and we don't know shit.
Right.
At the end of the day, like the Penix thing could work out, and you guys could go to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl with Michael Penix, and then you'll be like, "Well, I'm so happy that they took Michael Penix. It all worked out. He's the greatest quarterback we ever had."
There will be receipts, I'm sure. There'll be receipts.
It'll be me screenshotting all of your shit and just posting about how stupid the Atlanta Falcons organization.
Well, that's like that guy that Kansas City fan that whenever they drafted Mahomes, and they were like, "What?" They were like, "Who is this kid?" He's like, "You know what?" He's like, "This is why Kansas City will never win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. It's because they pick a quarterback too high and they pick the wrong guy." And then they go on to fucking win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. Like, shut the fuck up, bitch. You don't know nothing.
Other football-related news, Travis Kelce signs a 2-year deal, making him, again, the highest-paid tight end in all of NFL, which PMT raised a good question this morning. Is he doing this for the Are they doing this for the recognition of him as, like, the greatest tight end of this generation? Or are they doing it because Taylor Swift and him are going to split up and he needs some more money?
I don't even want to think about that right now.
We're not going to.
I don't want to even think about Taylor Swift right now.
The NFL draft was awesome for those who didn't tune in. I know most people who are listening to us probably at least have checked out who their guys picked up at the very least. I'm excited to see what is to come from these guys. We are getting close to football returning. Just got to get through the summertime. July 19th announced today. It will be the return of EA Sports college football. For those of you who like to game and play football simulation games, I think college football, as we've said in the past, it'll be a banger. They've been working on the vocal tracks for 2 years. That's such a huge part of these games, but I'm very excited for it. Who's the first team you're going to build up, Murph?
We'll take UK.
He said, I'm bringing the cast to
We're
the
taking
glory
UK, and we're
land.
going to win a national. We're going to win a natty.
We're going to win the natty, and we're going to beat Tennessee by 800 points.
On rookie mode.
On rookie mode. I kind of want to do like a Texas Tech rebuild. I think that would be a fun one.
I like taking like Western Michigan or like
just some nobody. Troy.
Troy or like fucking Toledo. Get out of my head.
I think those would be fun ones. And then obviously you do your road to glory and make your Heisman winner. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited for that. I just wanted to throw that in there. I've seen they announced the release date for everybody, July 19th, and it will have different cover athletes, one from each Power 5 conference. So there's going to be 5 different covers, different athletes from each conference. So I think that'll be fun. I'm excited. But let's move off football. Did a whole conversation on football. There's also been a lot of good basketball tuned in lately. As of most recent, LeBron James and the Lakers fall short to the most recent champions, Denver Nuggets. I respect LeBron very much so, and the fact that he is great. I know he gets a lot of hate from us, and all of that said, what is the future for LeBron? You feel like is there?
I think it kind of depends on what happens with Bronny.
Yeah.
I think if Bronny decides to go back to school, I think LeBron will probably stay in LA for another year. Or he could retire, I mean, he seems like he's done with it. He's not interested in dragging these guys to a final. I mean, ever since they won the championship, the last championship in the bubble, it just seems like he's kind of, and this is not a criticism, I mean, he's played the most minutes of any basketball player ever, probably.
Yeah,
he kind of just took his foot off the pedal, and he even said in the press conference the other night, he said at the end of the day, it's just basketball. So that to me kind of indicates that his mind is on other things. At this point in his life, at this point in his career, he's done everything that he wanted to do, with basketball, and now it just seems like he wants to be more of like an entrepreneurial type figure, more of a businessman or more of a media type guy, or maybe he gets into movies. I know he likes to be. He's been in several movies.
Yeah.
So I could see LeBron coming if like I said, it depends on what happens with his son. If his son goes to a team, he'll probably try to get on that team just so he can kind of mentor his son for a year in his first year in the league, and then who knows? He might be done after this year. I mean, he might have 2 more years left in him. I don't know.
Yeah, at most, I feel like it's two.
It's
years.
2 because he just seemed, like I said, he seems like he's done with it.
Yeah.
Tired of the criticism.
Like he's still great in the aspect, but I just feel like he's just burnt out on trying to. It feels like it's all on him. You get to 20 years in the league. At some point, you think, like, dude.
I mean, I'll be the first one. I'll be the first one to admit, like, I have been a LeBron hater, like, pretty much since he left Cleveland the first time. I've always, bashed LeBron and made fun of him and criticized him. But that's what happens whenever you are supposed to be the GOAT. Do you think Jordan got the same treatment? Every time Jordan fucked up, he got everybody talk shit about him. So I mean, that just comes with the territory. Now, that being said, I'm like you. I respect what LeBron has done and what he has accomplished in his career. Do I necessarily agree with everything that he's done and some of his antics on the court and some of the stuff that he says in social media and the media? No, I don't necessarily agree with that, but you have to at least respect it.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't have that killer instinct in him anymore.
I think he'd make a great GM for Literally any team. I think a team would be smart to try and take a flyer. I also think he would be fantastic, like joining the table with Shaq, Charles Barkley, all them guys. He would do awesome in that role, and I feel like he'd be loved beyond belief if he took one of them a role like on TNT with the crew. I think that would be an awesome gig. But I don't want to linger too much on LeBron. Everybody's going to talk about LeBron and what he's going to do. I want to give some love to some of the things I've seen and an update for the most part. Celtics just ended the series against the Miami Heat. They won it 4-1. The Bucks won last night. They kind of make a comeback, trying to get Giannis back, trying to get D. Lillard back. Big game from Pat Bev. But that series is 3-2. Indiana leads, which good for the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton. Kind of rallying a Pacers team that had been irrelevant for a long time. The Cleveland Cavaliers are up 3-2 on a great game, 104-103 yesterday. Against the Magic, too, which I feel like the Magic have been so irrelevant for so long. I keep forgetting that they're in the playoffs. But that boy, Paolo Banchero, dog.
Yeah, he's going to be – he's special. He is going to – I feel like if the Magic can lock him up long-term, they have something to build around, like a Dwight. Not like Dwight, but they like have a superstar player.
Yeah, cornerstone player for their organization, and which I think if they're smart, they'll do. If they let him walk, they're absolutely idiots. On the backside of that, the Cavaliers have been building up since the leaving and return and leaving again of LeBron, and this could potentially be the first playoff series win that they've had without LeBron, which is huge. The fact that Donovan Mitchell's there now, they got Evan Mobley, who's out of USC, highly touted recruited guy. Or obviously in my whole life I've known the Cavs, so I'm kind of pulling for them. Other news. This was a big game last night. I seen you said something about it. So did you watch this game, the New York Knicks and the 76ers game?
I caught the tail end. I caught like probably 4 minutes left in the fourth and then the overtime. And that boy Tyrese Maxey went nuts, man.
The dog.
Fucking
he
actually he's a cat
on his back. Yeah. True story. True story. No, Tyrese Maxey did go absolutely dumb. Just watching it back. I mean, he put on a clinic. He basically saved
46 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, and 5 made threes. There's 7 made threes. That is fucking insane. He bailed Embiid out. Now Embiid did have a triple double. He did have a triple double, but
Embiid at the end there, he just looked like a beat dog. Like he's tired up and down the court.
That's his biggest issue is he runs out of gas. He's not in shape. And I know it's hard for a guy that big to be in elite shape. And that was a knock on Jokic for so many years, is that he's not in shape. But the last 3 years, Jokic changed his body. He lost probably 20 pounds. And now he can run up and down the court in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But I also think that goes on coaching as well. Mike Malone kind of manages Jokic's minutes better, where Nick Nurse he just leaves Embiid out there. He just leaves him out there the whole time, and so it seems like he played 48 minutes. I mean, it's hard for a big man to play 48 minutes.
Yeah, and he's been struggling with injuries all season. But I as a Philadelphia sports fan, I like to root for the 76ers. I've never been big on the whole trust the process thing. I think I fell out of love with the idea of the 76ers when Ben Simmons was there. I really can't stand Ben Simmons. But Maxey last night kind of like revived me tuning in for basketball.
And if you look at their roster, they have a pretty damn good roster.
Yeah.
I mean, Tobias Harris, he's not really what he hasn't panned out like he was supposed to. Yeah. They paid him a lot of money. But you got Embiid, Kyle Lowry, who's a NBA champion, NBA vet. Tyrese Maxey he's gonna be a superstar in this league for years.
Oh yeah.
Kelly Oubre, he's a solid, NBA veteran. Nicholas Batum,
solid NBA vet.
Yeah, Campaign, and then who's this guy? Paul Reed. I don't know that guy, but I
don't know that guy, but
they've got a decent roster. They only played 8 guys last night.
Yeah, they pulled it out. I'm kind of hoping
the Knicks only played 7. That's nuts.
On the flip, I was gonna say on the flip side, the Knicks they played a little shorthanded last night, but that dude Jalen Brunson, man, I didn't know that he was going to turn into what he is. Like he was fantastic alongside Luka, but man, he is a superstar in his own right. Like every time he had an open shot there at the end, it seemed like it was a bucket. I think Brunson's a dog.
Yeah, he had 40.
Yeah, I mean he's averaging he's averaging 29 points a game in the playoffs and 7 assists.
What's crazy is that they're missing fucking what's his name?
Julius Randle?
Yeah, they're missing Randle. They're doing all this and they're missingAndle.
Yeah.
Arguably the
Randle
best player.
And Randle was their carrying force for him for what was it a couple years ago when they made that kind of magical run. So I'm excited to see what this next game, and hopefully it goes to 7. I think this series is worthy of going 7. I hope to see the Bucks Pacers go to 7.
They go back to Philly.
Yeah, I think that's going to be. Let's see the best of Embiid, and let's see what the Sixers can pull off. If not, it's been fun to watch. Update for current game going on right now: Mavs Clippers. Mavs up 27-24 second quarter with 11 minutes left. Luka Doncic is the leading scorer right now with 8 points. I don't really care to get too carried away in that. What I want to get carried away in are 2 teams right now. The Oklahoma City Thunder and Shai Gilgeous and that young team who are probably the most unique 1 seed to ever make the NBA playoffs. And what a story. And 2, Anthony Edwards is the reborn Michael Jordan. That dude is a killer, bro. I know we keep saying it. That guy is a stone cold killer, bro.
Yeah, he is the definition of got that dog in him.
Dog.
And he'll just run right through your face. He'll hit a 3 right in your eye. He doesn't care. He'll take the double team. Yeah. I think he benefits from having so much size on his team as well. I mean, he's got Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. And that kind of helps him get. I know it kind of they take up a lot of space, but that's awesome in a pick and roll situation, having that much size on a pick and roll. But I mean, also he's just uber talented. That dunk that he had on Bradley Beal, that was dunk of the year, if you ask me. Dunk of the year. It'll probably be replayed on highlight reels till the end of time. I mean, absolute savagery.
The Suns weren't the matchup. I think that
the Suns make me sick, dude.
Yeah, the Suns had like a lot of talent, but they weren't a good mesh fit. But D-Book going for 50 and Anthony Edwards like blocking him for the point, the shot that put him over 50 points in the playoff game. That like at the end, that's like the separator. It's like him doing that and being like, get that weak ass shit out of here. D-Book's already got 49 and you haven't lost your mindset yet. You know what I'm saying? Like you're realizing the bigger impact Anthony Edwards putting up 40 points. I'm excited to see this next round. I'm excited to watch what Anthony Edwards can pull off. This is one of them guys that I feel like is must. It's like when Ja Morant came into the league and he was putting it on everybody's head. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like appointment television. I feel myself, sucking into the NBA. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, and this is what makes the NBA so fun is you see the best of the best. And nobody watches not nobody, but hardly anybody watches the regular season anymore. Yeah. We come to see the superstars. We come to see the Anthony Edwards, the Nikola Jokic, the Jamal Murrays, the Tyrese Maxeys. Like that's what we want to see. I could care less about these other rinky-dink teams that don't care about winning. I will say that the Nuggets and Wolves series might be the best series of the entire playoffs.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That is an absolute hell. That's a hell of a matchup. Probably the best matchup you could on paper that you could think of. Denver's going to have a hard time matching up with their size, but I think the T-Wolves are going to have a hard time stopping Murray and Michael Porter Jr. because they can get hot at any moment. And Michael Porter Jr. is the X factor for that team, I think. Yeah. I mean, I know Aaron Gordon, he's a good big piece of the puzzle as far as defense, but if Michael Porter Jr. can put up 18 to 25 points, the Nuggets will win this series.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, he's the separator. I think obviously it's probably Gobert on Jokic. They're probably gonna have to play like some kind of. I think they have to play a zone. There's no. I think Jokic moves better than Murray. Cat might be able to pace with him. Cat's probably with Aaron. Anthony Edwards is probably with Porter Jr.
No, I think Edwards is on Murray. Yeah.
You don't think McDaniels is?
No, I think you put McDaniels on Michael Porter Jr. and then Mike Conley on KCP.
Yeah.
And then
that'll be fun.
Dude. It's going to be a matchup. It's going to be a game of match. It's going to be a chess match, dude.
It's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a fun one. I could see that one going all 7. I could see that being a really fun series. Tuning in for that.
Who does OKC play?
I think
they play the winner of the Clips and the Mavs.
I think so. OKC round 2. Let me see.
Yeah, they have to.
Yep.
They play the winner of the Clips and the Mavericks.
Yeah. I don't know. OKC is one of them like rare breed teams where I feel like they could float until they face the Timberwolves or they face. Well,
yeah, I think they'll make it to the Western Conference Finals. I think they could. They're definitely capable of beating the Mavericks or the Clippers, either one, for sure.
Yeah.
But they're the youngest team in the league, or one of the youngest teams, if not the. Yeah. So I think experience is going to be a real factor for OKC moving forward.
Yeah. I like OKC. I'm pulling for SGA. I'm pulling for what's his name? What's big dude's name?
Chet Holmgren.
I don't know about that other dude, Josh Giddey, the one that was Lou Dort, dog. OKC has done an incredible job building this team.
At the end of the day, though, it's still the first round. We're still finishing up the first round. And at the end of the day, I still think we get Nuggets Celtics.
Yeah.
And I think the Nuggets repeat. Yeah. Simply because Jokic, the tandem of Jokic and Murray is just way better than anything else in the league right now.
Yeah. What'd you call him the other day?
Shaq and Kobe 2.0.
Kobe 2.0.
I've been thinking about it, and I've talked to some people, and I think a better comparison is Tony Parker and Tim Duncan 2.0.
Ooh.
The play styles are a little bit more similar in that aspect.
Yeah.
Because Shaq and Kobe were just like high flying, athletic, dominating everybody, whereas Jokic and Tim Duncan and Tony Parker were more like skilled, finesse, laid in off the glass type. And that reminds me of Murray and Jokic more.
Yeah. Murray gives me Kobe vibes, like young Kobe vibes.
But he just don't have the hops as Kobe did. He don't got the
hops, but he can still put it down,
but he can score the ball at will,
my God.
And he's clutch.
He's like, hey Jamal, we need a game winner. He's like, say less.
Say less, my guy.
Say less, man. Say less. I'm gonna hit this. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Fadeaway floater to the left side. No big deal. I'm gonna sink that shit.
Yeah. And Anthony Davis is okay, gotcha.
Yeah, don't matter. You mean dunk on LeBron's head? Okay,
got it.
Do it. Got it. No big deal.
The crazy thing about it is like he was a game time decision about that last game.
Yeah.
They didn't even know if he was going to play, and he ends up doing what he did.
He got a killer mentality about him. I love Jamal Murray. I
He's
love watching him.
dog. And I think they have the best coach in the league, honestly.
Yeah.
Mike Malone is
Mike Malone is good.
He's a really good coach. So in the end, like I said, Celtics, Nuggets, NBA Finals, Nuggets take it.
Yeah. I like it. I'm pulling for somebody new, but I could see the Nuggets running off with it. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is the NBA playoffs. I think the only thing left that I spoke on previously, right at the beginning of the episode, that if anybody is, still listening to, they're wondering, and they've seen this buildup of this Kentucky basketball team and the hype surrounding it. It seems like I feel like a new name falls every day, a new big name falls every day.
It's been a hell of a week for Kentucky basketball. I will say that. We've 7 transfers and 1 letter of intent signed. Travis Perry. We had 2 guys commit to Kentucky today. Kerr Carissa, a 6'3", 185 transfer from Western Virginia, point guard. Also, he's a shooter. Kobe Brea, 6'6", 205 out of Dayton, another shooter. Then we have that Brandon Garrison kid, 6'11", 245 out of Oklahoma State.
I've heard big things about him, too.
Probably a good rim protector, defensive guy. Andrew Carr, 6'9", 220 out of Wake Forest. Skilled big man, can play good defense. Otega Owe, 6'6", 210 out of Oklahoma, small forward. And then we've got Lamont Butler out of San Diego State, 6'1", 175 point guard. Played in the Final Four, played in a good program, has solid fundamentals, great perimeter defensive guy. And then last but not least, Amari Williams, 6'10", 265 out of Drexel, center. So we've got a good mixed mash of size. We've got a lot of size. And last but not least, our own Kentucky boy, Travis Perry, out of Eddyville, Kentucky. Lyon County won a state championship this year. 6'2", 170. He'll be a project, but I think he will flourish under Mark Pope's system.
Yeah, Mark Pope's the right guy.
I think the panic at the beginning of the Mark Pope era, whenever it was first announced, I think the panic was delusional. We talked about it. It was entitlement. Kentucky fans thought we were going to get some big name guy, and now we didn't. And now, I think Mark Pope is proving that he knows how to build a roster. He knows what he's looking for in his players. He knows his system. He's going to be able to develop these guys. We're not building the team out of freshmen nowadays. We're building them out of guys who have played college ball. I'm very confident. I think we'll be good. I think we'll be very good next year.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm very excited for what UK is gonna be this year. I think Mark Pope's gonna run one of those offenses that is like super efficient, super good. A lot of 3 balls, a lot of high lows. It's gonna be a good basketball team. It's gonna be fun to watch. Cats are back up. You guys got hope in Pope, baby. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I want to know. I want to see before the season. I want to see what the betting odds are that Kentucky will have a better season than Arkansas. Because I'm sure there will be a ton of money coming in on Kentucky.
Oh, yes. And you probably want a piece of that action, son.
Oh, I do.
I want a piece of that action. And I hope Kentucky plays Arkansas to the ground this year. Because fuck you, John Calipari. John Calipari. John Calamari. Because you're about to be cooked, son. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm excited for UK. Excited for the rest of the NBA playoffs. Excited for football to be back. The only thing live right now is baseball and this Clippers-Mavericks game. Baseball, to me, right now is It's a fight. It's a fight every day. I get a notification. One day that Reds win, next day we lose. Next day we win, next day we lose. And it's like my heart can never find happiness. And then I just seen the Mets just lost because Pete Alonso skipped up on a third base coach sign and got thrown out of home plate to lose the game. Shout out Pete Alonso. You are a New York City hero. We love you. Keep doing you, Pete. Aside from that, Murph, you got anything else for the episode?
No, I think we covered it. I think we covered all we were going to. Oh yeah, Kentucky did get a 4-star football recruit today. Yes, sir.
Ohio State, Chip Kelly, we're about to run the league. Fuck everybody. Our offense is going to be stinking fire. You hear me? I miss you, Marv. I miss you, CJ. I am excited.
Did you see that? Did you see that meme of the Ohio State guys and all of it's like CJ Stroud, Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, and she didn't win the Big Ten title.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
She didn't win, yeah.
And who's the other one? There was another one.
It was on the defense. The defense was garbage. Look, if we hit that field goal against Georgia, we're winning a natty.
Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know.
Oh. All right, Cats fans, enjoy your 7-5 season. Fuck out of my face.
Hey, that's a good year for us, you know.
That's a good year for the Cats, baby.
Great year.
7 wins. I'll take that shot.
Hey, we got to play Alabama and Georgia every year, and Tennessee. Yeah. I mean,
well, now you guys also get Texas. We got to play USC, Michigan.
Okay, Michigan. Okay, but they're going to be down next year. They're going to be down next year.
We got Washington. We got Oregon. Oregon's going to be a tough one, actually.
Oregon will be tough.
Yeah, Oregon will be tough. Michigan's got it worse than us this year, so fuck them. Don't give a damn about the whole state.
And Washington, they'll be down too. They just lost their coach.
Yeah, they lost to everybody, and that's facts. All right. Let's get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, subscribe. Bing, 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 bing. Every person that subscribes to this episode, I will send you nothing except for love and appreciation. And I will send it gift wrapped like it is a Christmas present. And I hope it comes straight to your front door and opens up like a giant person out of a box. Says, thank you. Gives you a hug. Aside from that, tell your grandma about us. Tell your mama about us. And tell them to tell God we need some favors out here because I'm asking for a handout. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Peace.
Peace.